A big shalom, a big welcome to everybody here. We're really glad that you're joining us here for this start of our iCenter series for this academic year. Together, we're creating a space here for educators, for community members, for friends to gather, to meet, to learn with people like Dana, these inspiring Israeli change makers and educators that are leading in this time. And we're in a moment here where reality can feel challenging, can feel troubling, and we hope that these sessions will not only offer some insight, but also that connection that's so important to us right now, inviting us to engage with different visions for Israel, to expand our perspectives, and to really carry these new ideas back into our communities. So again, this is really a start. This is a start for that conversation. It's a conversation that we would love to continue, both formally as a group and also informally. And with that, the spirit of conversation, I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Yehudit.
תודה רבה, Dan. Hi, everyone. I am גם glad to be here for learning together. I think it's great when we give ourselves the opportunities to learn together as educators so that we are more knowledgeable, we're more skillful, and we're more inspired. And Dana is a tremendous source of inspiration for me, has been since even before I knew you, Dana, I knew local testimony. And as an Israeli, Dana will explain what local testimony is. But for me as an Israeli, the ability to walk into an exhibit that happens once a year has become almost like a sacred ritual, where I would walk into the Museum of Eretz Israel in Ramat Aviv, and I will walk through the year that passed and will be reminded of the highs and the lows, and it will be sometimes like a punch in the stomach and sometimes like a visit from the past, a happy, warm visit from the past. And so I reached out to Dana as the founder and the driving force of Local Testimony. She's been responsible for this exhibit, and it's have been taking place in Israel for more than 20 years, with the idea to capture the essence of Israeli and international photography or photojournalism. And for me as an educator, as an Israeli, I said it's a good reminder of what I want to remind myself and sometimes of what I want to forget. As an educator, I think photography and documentary photography is such a tremendous source. And I found that it was really helpful for more professionals to engage with the depth, the context of the photo, the stories of the individual, the reactions that we had, the ability to learn about content, about moments, about people, about events through this mifgash, this meeting point between text and context, between narratives and reality. And so when I thought about how to introduce you, Dana, one of the songs that came to my mind is a very well-known Israeli song that was written in the 80s by Ehud Manor, and it's called I Have No Other Country. And the reason why I thought of you in that context was because for me, you are a change agent, an agent of change. Your passion for reminding us Israelis about the gaps between what Israel ought to be and what Israel is, the importance of bringing so many stories to the front of the stage and allowing us to immerse ourselves in those stories, in those individual, collective stories. It's a tremendous service, and your loyalty to complexities. When I shared with Dana that the reason why I chose this poem is because the first verse says, I have no other country, even if my land is burning. Only one word in Hebrew pierces my veins, my soul. With a painful body, with a hungry heart, here is my home. And I feel that it's what I hear from you constantly, Dana, that this is our home, We have to fight for what we believe our home can be and what our society can be. But when I shared with Dana that this is the song that I'm going to introduce her by, she said, well, it's not just about my story. That's part of the challenge that we have today in Israeli society. It's not about continuing to sing my song until Israel awake or my society awakes, is my ability to train my listening muscles and my empathy and sympathy muscles so that I'm able to sit with really challenging narratives of my neighbors and my fellow citizens. And that's what we're hoping to achieve. I called Dana and I told her, Dana, we are about to begin a new year. We will, in a couple of weeks, be celebrating and welcoming a new year. So before we say goodbye to the passing year and all the blessings and all the curses also it has brought on us, can you walk us through the images of the highs and lows of the passing year? So with that, Dana, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Judith. So in the beginning, when Judith approached me and gave me this challenge of picking out the highs and lows, the first thought was, okay, lows, highs? Huge question mark. Did we have any highs? So actually, you've done me a big favor because I've traveled along again the painful images of the past year, and I did manage to find some fragile ray of light in within this really, really sad and painful year. So I picked up this fading lights for us all to cling into. And as Judith said, I mean, for me, the most important thing in local testimony in our exhibition is first of all to create some discussion around critical thought. And it's so important for all of us to maintain this right to have critical thought, and again, to be able to discuss, to be able to converse around it, because we became so hostile, so intimidated, so afraid of people who think differently than us, because we feel attacked. We feel attacked from our neighbors. We feel attacked because we're in wartime for almost 2 years now. And we feel attacked because for more than 3 years, we're divided within our country and our society. And I believe it's a muscle that became a little bit feeble, and we need to stretchen it up. And I think that a great way to do it is around photography, around images that we receive from so many photojournalists, so many brave photographers that are like our agents in the field. They're all the time, 24/7. They are out there, just collecting for us the bits of reality of what's going on here. And just now, actually, we're in the high days of collecting the new harvest for next year, because the exhibition is actually an outcome of a competition that we make with our community of photographers here in Israel. And the last day of submission is August 31st. So actually nowadays we're really like we're in the highs of collecting this year's harvest, and it's unfortunately again it's the third year that we're having this exhibition while being in the war. Unbelievable, but true. And we're just, we're trying again to see this rays of light and hope and belief, and trying to maintain our hope for better future and for better reality here. So I will dive into the images, Judith.
Yes.
Okay. So we're starting with the lows. So this is actually a gathering outside one of the biggest high schools in Tel Aviv, in the center of Tel Aviv, Gimnasia Herzliya, if anyone knows. Tel Aviv, as you might know, is a very secular city, quite open, pluralistic. It's one of the things which describes Tel Aviv in opposed to Jerusalem. And throughout the past couple of years, big parts of the society in Israel became very right-winged, and with that, a lot became חוזרים בתשובה, became closer to religious. Judith, how would you say חוזרים בתשובה?
And people who made tshuva, so they became exactly how you said, they were in the process of becoming more religious, getting closer to more traditional observance of Judaism.
Yeah. And what happened this day is that some of Chabad people put a booth in front of the school of putting on tefillin. And the headmaster of Gimnasia Herzliya came out to them and asked politely to clear the way. In no time, people gathered around. It became like a big demonstration of power and fight. Actually, the person that you see in the middle of the image is Almog Cohen, is a parliament member. And for me, this image is super strong as an image, but also you have here so many components of symbolic icons. It's like the fist, which is actually the logo of one of the right-wing parties of Itamar Ben-Gvir, Otzma Yehudit. Otzma is power, and the fist is, of course, signifies the power. Of course, the tefillin, all the tattoos with the Star of David, and the איך קוראים לה? איך אומרים את הטלית?
The talit.
טלית?
Shocking.
The talit, it's like and it looks like a wedding, and for me, it's like these people kind of gloat. I mean, they're there to make a stand. They're there to make a big effort of bringing power into this event. And it also shows, big issue of the society today in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and only today we heard another member of the parliament, Tali Gottlieb, saying how important it is that Tel Aviv will be Jewish. And a lot of money is going to be streamed into Tel Aviv in order to maintain here a lot of far right and Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox society in Tel Aviv. Judith, you want to add something?
No, I think just a question of, since you chose it as one of the low moments, and as someone who lives in Tel Aviv, because you live in Tel Aviv, why, what was most challenging about this for you?
First of all, again, they're putting it in front of a school. Young people go there without their parents. They're being vulnerable for outside effect on them, and I feel that it's unfair. I mean, the parents choose to take their children to a certain school, and they trust the school, they trust this area to be protective for them. And this kind of influence is something that you don't expect to meet at school. And again, I think that the power here, the force that I can feel from this image, it intimidates me. And again, I have nothing against religion. I have 3 boys. All of them made their bar mitzvah. I love the stories. I love the tradition. It's not at all from that way. It's just that it became like a war zone of both parties, both sides, trying to recruit to their side, and it shouldn't be that way.
I'm thinking about the verse that the ways of the Torah are darkei noam v'netivotea netivot shalom. And it's just, the Judaism, the Torah, I mean, you can extend it to Judaism, should be paving path of peace, and it's clearly not, the tone of the image. So thank you. And I want to say to everyone who is participating that this is a conversation. So while Dana is introducing the images, if you would like to say something, if you want to ask something at any given moment, please unmute yourself, and we'll be happily having this conversation. I'm also looking at the time, Dana, and I'm thinking maybe to jump to another one.
Okay, sure.
I'm happy to make a comment.
Better.
So it's definitely a painful image, and thank you, Dana. It's really a special image. I appreciate you curating these important images that are such good catalyzers of conversation. I think rather than if I were to frame it, it wouldn't be about who's in the right and who's in the wrong so much, as I would be more inclined to frame it as, what questions arise from this image, what yearnings do we see here? Where do we see the gap between how Judith beautifully framed about what is and what could be? I think both sides here have a yearning for there to be a difference between what is and what could be. And rather that yearning is being expressed ineffectively through, perhaps fists or through non-collaborative kind of exposure to the beauty of tradition in a way that doesn't work for people and creates friction. But what is the yearning in what might have been a more collaborative process? So I think that would be more of my, if I were to use the image rather than, make some people right and some people wrong or something, I would like to dig in to the values intention that iCenter so beautifully brings in some of their curricula.
I wish for it to be like this. I didn't mean right or wrong. I meant right-wing ideology.
No, they're different ideology. I grew up as a secular Israeli in Israel, so I understand the Tel Aviv friction, and yeah, and I think making one wing wrong and wrong wing right, or whatever it is, the language, I think is
No, I'm not. I'm
we
not
can.
saying someone is right or wrong, belonging to the right or left wing. I'm just saying that these are right-wing activists because they are a member of the parliament. So it's a fact.
Yeah. But it looks like the fist doesn't necessarily belong to that side of the
Of course,
photo.
the fist is, it's also the framing of the very talented Yoshua Yosef, the photographer, and it might be, just the moment, but again, the framing altogether creates this kind of sensation.
Right. And maybe to add, קודם כל, thank you, Ronit, for reminding us also as educators how these images and this beautiful world that, Dana, you've created with local testimony can be a great resource to us in the educational work that we do. And I also think that this point about the photographer as a narrator is an important one, because the way he captured the moment is the way we are experiencing the moment, but it doesn't necessarily speaks true one-to-one to the actual moment. And
100%.
this is also our role as educators. We are narrators, and we choose where to put the light, how to frame, how to contextualize what is happening. So thank you. And I think that we can move. Thank you both, Emmett, for the conversation and taking us in depth into this moment. And can we, Dana, maybe choose
Yeah.
a moment?
So Judith, it's you.
נכון, תגידי לי אבל איזה. To which one do you want?
הבא?
Let's go.
Okay. We're still in the lows, of course. It's a funeral of the son of Gadi Eisenkot. There are not a lot to say, of course. It's a very, very sad moment. Gadi Eisenkot is also a member of the parliament. He was the chief of the IDF here in Israel for many years. Very courageous and famous combat soldier for all his career. He lost his son and two nephews during this terrible war. But what's really powerful also here in this image, again, you see the figure of Gadi Eisenkot in the middle, so aching, in so much pain. And you can see other member of the parliaments, and of course Benjamin Netanyahu in the left end of in the left angle of the images. And again, the part of the story here is that members of the opposition, we might say, are taking part of this war. Their sons are in special units in this war, while the prime minister is coming to share respect in this funeral, while his family and his children are not taking active part in this war. So I think this is part of this strong images. I don't know if you can recognize, but most of the people that you see around Gadi Eisenkot are former or present members of the parliament. So we can move on, so we can...
Before that, I want to add maybe one thing that is true to, the laws of mourning in Israel, but also to the fact that what you see here is the father, but you also see the community. And I think that it's true. You've spoken about the last 2 years, and it's been true to Israel since its beginning, that we come together, and people show up for each other, It's even more so the case for funerals for for lonely soldiers and for people who in sad circumstances have become part of Israeliness. And I think that image speaks very strongly about being together in those moments of low.
Thank you.
Which one now?
Next one.
Yofi.
So this image is taking place in Beit Lid, which is a military base. Some soldiers were arrested in that day because they were suspected to misconduct with prisoners, with Nukhba prisoners. It's important to say. And it was a super violent afternoon and night because a lot of activists came to this base with guns and with a lot of means in order to protest against keeping these soldiers imprisoned. It was a very complex night. Of course, what's sad about this event that in the end of the day that no one was actually arrested. I mean, you can see here, you cannot even, it's difficult to understand who's against who here because everyone is kind of military or law enforcement look, but in the same time they're one against another, and no one was arrested after that night. There were I don't know, something like 200 people coming there to protest, and with a lot of violence. And no one was arrested, no one was detained afterwards, and yeah.
And why is that considered one of your lows, Dana?
Because I think that people are trying to create here a situation where it's okay to break the law. It's okay to break the law. It's okay for these soldiers not to keep the laws of how to behave with the prisoners. And in the same time, these people did believe that they can just go there to this army base and force themselves into these poor soldiers in front of them and doing whatever they want to do. And also this, we cannot see it here, but we had other images and also video work that showed it, that also many members of the parliament came there. I mean, they just, they kept the soldiers in order to create a reality where they need to check what happened there. And for the other people, it's like, no, you don't need to check because these people are soldiers, and as soldiers, they are holy. You cannot touch them. They're untouchable, and they can do whatever they need to do. And we shouldn't question it. We shouldn't bring into the conversation any critical thought.
And I'm thinking about that moment also, Dana, and I think that I would call it also one of the lows because it also showed us how much anger there was amongst us and how broken we were because of the events of October 7th. And really there was an understandable high level of anger and frustration and fear. And I think that moment also revealed that in a very loud way. And it was also a moment where Israelis turned against each other, which happened many other times during that year.
Could someone explain this from the beginning? I'm not familiar with this and have no idea what's going on.
Okay, sure. Dana, do you want to contextualize this?
And Judith, maybe you will do it in a more accurate
What
way.
happened was that there were terrorists that belong to the Nukhba. Nukhba are the groups that the Hamasniks that attacked the civilians on October 7th. And there were claims that that terrorist has been abused by the soldiers and the guards in the prison where he was held. And they were taking to be investigated, by Israel authorities. So these are Israeli soldiers who were being investigated by Israel to see what had happened in that prison where the Hamas terrorist was held. And it brought a lot of reaction. And what you're seeing are the events post when the soldiers were kept in the prison of Beit Lid, because it's an army facility, and people came to manifest their opinion and their anger and frustration about the fact that, why are soldiers being held and investigated with accusations against, how come the rights of the Hamas terrorists are higher than protecting Israeli soldiers? And Dana is also claiming other voices in Israeli society that was worried about the fact that the law has been taken into the hands of a group of soldiers.
Right. So who is wearing the mask? I don't understand.
Protesters. This is one of the protesters. Now they came, some of them with masks, some of them without masks, but a lot of them with weapon and baseball bats.
These are Israelis protesting the investigation of the guards.
Exactly, and they wanted to release them. They attacked the prison because they wanted to release the soldiers, because they felt that it was a wrong act to investigate soldiers who misbehaved or were accused for misbehavior. Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Next one.
We have 15 more minutes, and I would like us to maybe choose one more low.
Okay, so you choose.
Wow. You know what? I want to go to this one that we previously spoke about, number 8.
Okay. Okay, this is, first of all, it's a very beautiful image. It's, for me, it's like an image of Caravaggio. Very biblical image. And you can actually see here right-wing activists pray for the re-establishment of Jewish settlements in Gaza Strip near the Israel-Gaza border. I don't know if you're aware, but just this summer, we mentioned 20 years for the disengagement that happened in 2005. The disengagement was the time that Ariel Sharon, which was the prime minister at the time, and the coalition, the government, has decided to clear Gush Katif, the area next to in Gaza Strip, from the Jewish inhabitants. And these people are actually praying to go back to their motherland, to go back to the place which was promised to them in the Bible by their belief. And what I told Judith just before when we spoke about this image, that again, personally speaking, I'm against this movement because it's quite clear that these people want to sit in a place where now belongs to other, and it can only bring a lot of noise, and it can only be, to make us further from it's even ridiculous to say it now, but it's like the peace process. But in the same time, I can really relate to these people because these people was actually torn from their home, and it was a very special home for them. And it was a home that our government allowed them to sit in this place and create a home and community and a beautiful place to live in, which was extremely important for them, not only as a part of their land, but also as part of their belief. And at the time, 20 years ago, I must say that most of the society was not aware of this difficult moment, and most of the society was not sensitive enough to understand the big tragedy of these people. So this is the story of this image for me. Judith, you want to add something?
Oh, I think that you're bringing exactly you're raising a great educational question about our ability to feel the pain of someone else and to understand, and I think Ronit said it beautifully also at the beginning, how there's so much yearning. I think, Yehuda Amichai, in his poem about the ecology of Jerusalem, said that, the air is so polluted because there's so many hopes and dreams. And this image just reflects that. And your explanation on the image makes it even more powerful. That I think that's the part of the real cause of pain in Israel at the moment, that there are so many yearnings within Israel, outside of Israel. And how do we live with that? With our ability to maybe ideologically disagree with each other, but to feel the pain, the real pain, to feel the yearning, to understand that the value, just like we hope people will understand the value that we give things. So I think that it's a good transition between lows moments that for some people are lows, from some people are high. And I would like to go to number 9 in a sharp transition.
Yeah, okay. So this is a high. Again, a beautiful image of Avishag Shar-Yeshuv, which works for the New York Times. And this was just after the first deal, as we say, for the return of the captivities from Gaza. And we see here a very normal moment of a grandfather with his grandchild in bed. Such a normal moment and such a fragile moment because it was so close for this moment not to happen. And we met this grandfather, Giora, during the exhibition. And he told us that for 3 months he was sleeping with his grandchild, really celebrating the intimacy that he could create with his family again, with his returned grandchild and daughter-in-law. and how we should celebrate the small moments, which are so fragile, and sometimes maybe we forget to be thankful for them.
Thank you. It really is a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful moment in everywhere else, and it has, double significance when we know the real story behind.
Yeah, and also if we talked before about the first black and white image of the picture with the fist and the tefillin, how in the first image the photographer is very present. Of course, the photographer has framed this situation, while in this image, Avishag, the photographer, is not present at all. She could be like a fly on the wall. There is no significance for her. It's just their moment. Their eyes are closed. They're just, celebrating this intimacy, and they're not bothered by her. And she could really frame this very spontaneous moment.
Great. For many more moments.
Amen.
People.
What's left?
Let's go to another victorious moment.
Yeah. Peter Palachek, our judoka in the Olympic Games last summer, after he won the silver medal, celebrating with his coach, Oren Smadja. And the full story of this image is not only his win and the celebrated silver medal, but it's a very important celebration also of his coach, Oren Smadja, just that lost his older son 2 months earlier in the war. And again, it's like the circle of life. He lost his own son, but here it's like his professional son that they brought him for this very incredible moment and this moving win of medal. I must say here a word of my own that it happened on the 1st of August last year, and it was my birthday, and I couldn't stop crying that day. It's just like I was so emotional and really like flooded in tears and emotions. And my husband told me, I didn't know that you're such a judoka fan. What's going on? So like, each one of us needs this small button just to press on, and everything comes out. It's like really a nation in trauma or post-trauma. I don't know, but really the sensitivity is super high. But yeah, it's a high moment. It's a moment of celebration, and also like kind of closing a circle.
Right. And
of the story.
Dana, if we were pairing images, then I would pair it with the image of the funeral of Gadi Eisenkot's son, Gal, because I think that just like there, here too, it's like we are in our smachot, in our moments of joy, and in our moments of pain. I mean, Gadi Eisenkot's son's funeral, Gal, was embraced by all of us. We all felt that we were there. And when Peter Pelchik later in an interview shared that when he came to Oren Smadja, his coach, he told him in his ear, I did it for your son. And so these moments bring us together, so closely together, and remind us that we have the ability to stand and to be there for each other. And I want to stop because we have 5 more minutes and we have many more images, and they're all extremely meaningful. But I want to open the stage for questions or comments. So if you have something that you would like to ask Dana, please go ahead.
I wonder if you considered making the images available for the iCenter's programming that is available online for so many different schools and programs?
Sure. So first of all, it's all online. And Judith, I have a big announcement, and because Ronit asked, so now we're working on a new website, and everything will be available also in English, because up till now it was only in Hebrew. So we managed to have help from a Wix company because they also thought that it's very important to have our archive open bilingual. So actually all images of the show, of the exhibition, that every year we have something like 130, 140, and also videos are available, and soon to be available also in English. So now it's online, but in Hebrew, and soon it will be also in English, and it's all online.
Can you share the link in the chat so we could
Sure.
add it to our notes?
Sure.
Okay. Which one now?
Maybe the missile?
Yes.
So I picked this image also as a high, and Judith asked me, why? Why did you put it here in a high? You know, it's a missile that was shot by Iran to Israel. And I said, because, you know, this was taken in April. I mean, it was much before the Am Kelavi, the Rising Lion war with Iran that we had here in mid-June. And for me, it's just, you know, being thankful of technology and of Iron Dome and all we had here that helped us to finish this terrible 12 days in a terrible disaster, but minimum disaster in lives. Again, my heart for all the people that were injured, and not only in body but also in their soul. It was a very, very frightening 12 days. But being here in that time and seeing the condition of neighborhoods and buildings, while in the same time such a minimum casualties in lives, it's amazing. So of course there is a twist here, because you can see the Haredic people examining the missile, and I can think that maybe they think that they helped to prevent this missile hurting the people by their praise and beliefs, but in the same time, it's technology and our abilities to protect ourselves, and it gives us some reassurance.
Yeah. Vegami could be both.
Could be both.
It could be both, and maybe that's a good, I think that it's a good reminder of how we started the conversation. I think you invited us to look at reality through the multiple lens and through the, you know, perspective of the narrator, and also the perspective of the protagonists, and to ask ourselves, where does our heart goes? Where does our mind go? Thank you for everyone for sharing your comments, for asking your questions. David, thank you for reminding us that context is so important, so for people to be able to engage with, you know, the meta questions. And thank you, Dana, for being such a responsible citizen and a passionate artist. And I'm looking forward. I don't know if I should look forward, but I'm looking forward to the exhibit. And those of you who will be in Israel, when will it be? October usually?
We're open on December 11th, and it will be shown for 2 months. So as you did.
מוזיאון הארץ?
מוזיאון ארץ ישראל.
ישראל,
כן,
רמת אביב.
ברמת אביב. So it will be until mid-February, but in the same time, everything will be online in Hebrew and English, as said, and you can use it, and you can see the videos, and you can use it as a tool. Also, previous exhibitions will be online.
Yeah.
So,
And they're all tremendous resources. And I want to say to us, if we don't meet before the Shana starts, the new year begins, we usually say that may this year's curses end and be left.
Amen.
And may the blessings that the coming year will grant on us come in abundance. And good luck to every one of you who are already, starting the new cycle of the year, because you're educators. And thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you, Dana.
thank you all, and Shana Tova.